Welcome back everybody to Gentle Dorks, and continuing on from my bad superhero movies, are they really that bad? I've only actually had one that I haven't enjoyed, and that was The Flash. All the other movies that I've done so far, I've enjoyed. They've been good stories. Could they have been better? Definitely. But here we are. And today, we're going to talk about the 1997 Steel. Now, this movie was panned at the box office. It bombed ridiculously bad. It didn't do much for Shaquille O'Neal's acting career because he can't play characters. He's Shaquille O'Neal. His acting ability wasn't terrible. He done what he could with the script. Could it have been better if they'd got in an actual actor? Possibly. I'm not saying that Shaquille O'Neal is a terrible actor. They could have got someone in to do it better that wasn't Shaquille O'Neal, but we are where we are. So this movie came out in 1997, and it is loosely based on the DC Comics character of Steel, but the movie is very loosely based on the character. All it does is take the character's name and some of his traits. And I think the reason that Shaquille O'Neal got the part is because he's tall and he has a Superman tattoo. That is it. That is the reason they went for him. Because he's a fan of Superman. Who isn't? His character in the movie is John Henry Irons. And in the comics, he's a supporting character of Superman. None of that is in this. There is no connection to any DC characters or any of the DC world except this character. No other connections. And so it has taken a character and some of his traits, not all of them, just some of them, and given him an origin story that wasn't even his origin story in the comics, and his supposed powers, and completely ripped off the character and made a completely different story. The movie itself, the story, isn't that bad. I've read reviews of it. There's like 0%, 8%. I think the highest it got was like a 28% review. And I think that's doing it a disservice. I wouldn't go that low. The main problem with this is it was supposed to be sort of a dark, but it was cheesy as hell. It was ridiculously cheesy. Now, if they had just played into that, not made it dark, made it a semi-comedy, or just a light-hearted version of the character, because this character's quite dark because of how he comes about. But if they decided, this is cheese, let's just run with that, I think with them having Shaquille O'Neal, but if they'd done that, I think this movie could have been more successful. Especially at a time when there was a few different comedy type superhero movies coming out. It could have been a lot better. Apart from Shaquille O'Neal's acting in it, everybody else was really good. I know that Shaquille O'Neal's acting was subpar. It wasn't the best. Could have been better. They filmed it in 5 weeks. That's all they had. Pre-production and production was done in 4 months, I think. And they had 5 weeks with Shaquille O'Neal because he was going to the Summer Olympics. And he was training for that in Los Angeles and Hawaii. So he was jumping back and forth. So they had him for 5 weeks to make this movie. So it was a rushed production. And when you're doing things like that, you don't have a full proper script. You don't have someone that can adapt to having to do all this in 5 weeks. Then you are going to have a subpar production. If you've got people that know what they're doing, then you could have had a better movie. Now, personally, I'd probably say that it's probably about 2 stars, 1.5 to 2, because The movie's not terrible. Is it worth watching 2, 3, 4, 5 times? No, no. I've watched it. That was my fourth time watching it. Will I watch it again? I might. I might go and put it on again. It's not like The Flash where I will not watch that again. With this one, I might go back and watch it again. It's not a terrible movie. It's not a good movie, but it's not terrible. Now I know people might come at me at the comments and say, "Oh, Shaquille O'Neal's not an actor. He done what he could." So he did, yes, but they could have got someone else in, someone that had the actual ability to do the shoot in less than 5 weeks. They could have got someone in, had a 2 month, 3 month shoot, and be able to do reshoots if needed. There wasn't even a chance to do reshoots in this movie. They had to do everything, and that was it. There was no chance for reshoots unless it didn't involve Shaquille O'Neal. And they couldn't really get stand-ins for him because there's nobody that's Shaquille O'Neal's height and build. He's like 93 feet tall and 93 feet wide. He's built like a tank. You can't get somebody like that. So they didn't even have the time to do that. But on the off chance that you agree with me that it's not a terrible movie, let me know. Let's have a discussion about it. What did you think about Steel? Is it one of these superhero movies that will go down in history as, a missed gem at the time? No. No. It's not a movie that people will go back and say, "You know what? That was a classic. We should have given that more praise when it came out." It's not that. It's a silly, cheesy superhero movie that DC brought out to try and win fans back. And it didn't really work. But on that note, gentle dorks, I shall love yous and leave yous. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell thing. Apparently I have to say these things. And, as always, see ya.